Hello, and happy Sunday, everyone. Also, happy Mother's Day. Feliz Dia de Madres. Well, hello and welcome. I hope you guys are having a beautiful, sunny Sunday. And if you don't know who I am Tara with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot. You can learn a little bit more about me by checking out my information box down below, my website, kittensweightsandtarot.com, maybe checking out the Witchy Shop, Desert Cauldron over on Etsy, maybe looking for ways to help support the channel over on Patreon or YouTube members. All of that information is down below. But yay, I wanted to say happy Mother's Day, everybody. And I know that there are a variety of ways that people can consider themselves mothers. There are people who have given birth to babies. There are people who have taken in and adopted children. There are people that have adopted fur babies and feathery babies and all sorts of babies. There are people who have been surrogates and people who have given pieces of themselves quite literally to others to help them live. And so in all the ways, all the stepmoms, all the mamas out there, I hope that you have a happy Mother's Day. That's actually what I was doing before I popped on. Is I was sending text messages to my stepmom, to my aunt slash my godmother, all of my friends, like just wishing everybody a happy Mother's Day. So anyway, for today, what we have cooked up, we have our weekly reading first. So for the weekly reading, I do highly encourage you to chime in with your own downloads, your own thoughts, your own, things that you've gotten from your own reading. So if you have a deck of cards, hey, let us know what deck you are working with. If you're using runes or good old fashioned intuition, just doing some channeling, which my channelers out there, let us know what your messages are. And also, afterwards, we will be going into what you guys voted on. So the votes were actually pretty close for this week of what people wanted to see during this live chat. So it was almost a tie between making some heavenly morsels, which actually those are a thing, and they are super freaking delicious. And I think they're only like 3 ingredients. They're like the easiest thing to make, and they're just like, like the name is apropos. So it was a tie between that or my tongue drum, whoop, which you see right there. And we're going to be playing that in the forest for the Fae. But it came down to my Patreon members and my YouTube members, and they kind of like pushed just a few votes forward to do the tongue drum, to kind of bring in the Fae, kind of just have some fun in the forest today. So we will be doing that. But hey, maybe next time we will make some heavenly morsels. I'll show you guys how to make those because it's super fast, it's super easy, and highly addictive and delicious. But anyway, I hope you guys are having a lovely day. So after that, we will go into super chats and super stickers, and then we will go into our channeled guided meditation. So, hey, let's do it. Okay, so the decks that I have for today, I have my Wally's World Oracle. Yay! This is such a worn copy because, well, I love my Wally's World. I created it along with our beautiful community. And if you are interested in Wally's World, the link for that is down below. But I thought I'd bust out my little fur baby, my Wally's World. And then I have messages from the spirits of nature because we are in nature right now. I also have the Divine Doors affirmation cards. I don't know. I thought those would be fun. Maybe use them throughout the live chat today. And then I just got a new deck called the Retekina Tabi Tarot, which is the spiritual journey tarot. And this came all the way from Japan. It's gorgeous. I'll have to show you guys in just a moment, because I want to give a little shout out first to all of my subscribers. So thank you to everybody who supports the channel, who's subscribed to the channel, who's given thumbs up and shared videos and watched videos, and has actually given donations to some of those videos. So thank you so much. Also to my YouTube members, and you'll know who they are because they have a little colored kitty head next to their name, but Kayla and Nancy and Astrid and Jolene and Duality Tales. Thank you so much for helping to support what I do here. I truly, truly, truly appreciate you. And also to my mighty, mighty moderators, you know who they are because they hold the wrench of destiny next to their screen name. But also to my lovely patrons. Thank you guys so much. Lily, Dana, Jamie, Kayla, Sugna Baby, Brandy, Jason, Brian, Palu, Crystal, Easy Does It, Oz, Joel, 1111, and Casey Gritter. Thank you guys so much. All righty. Okay. Let's see. Um, StreamYard's going to do that thing where I can't see the comments again, but we do have a friend came in who said, hey. Well, hello. Okie dokie. Well, let's actually put this over here and let's pull a Wally's World for the theme card for the week. And then, let's see, then maybe I will use, actually, I want to use a few decks for this weekly reading. So let's start off with Wally and just kind of get an overall message for the week. Maybe something we need to meditate on, something we need to watch out for, something we need to embrace, something we just need to keep in mind. I don't know what's going to come through. So we'll see. But here are the cards and with the gilded edging and all the beautiful photographs that our friends from around the world donated for this deck of their very sacred spots. They're very spiritual spots, personal spots. All right. So let's see. And I'm so glad it's so beautiful out today. Like, what a day to play the tongue drum and just sit out and sling some cards, you know? Okie dokie. Oh, hey, it's the last card in my deck. Card number 64. And the reason I wanted to have 64 cards is because 6 plus 4 equals 10, which is endings. But also when you simplify it even further, it comes out to the number 1, which is brand new beginnings. So beginnings and endings, kind of like the start of a brand new cycle. And actually, I got that for a personal reading for myself this morning about just new beginnings and new paths opening up. So it seems like that's more of a collective message. So that's pretty cool. Oh, hey, it was our friend Duality Tales. Hey! Saying hey. Our buddy John Gross is here saying hello. All right, so anyway, card 64 here actually doesn't have Wally in it. If you look closely, outlined in gold, that is actually my cat Presley, who passed away some years ago. And he's sitting in what was my garage of the house that I had in Spring Valley. So let's see what Presley has to say, because when Presley comes in, I mean, not that I, don't listen to Wally or Loki, but Presley, I just feel, I don't know, he's coming in from some higher ethers out there. So let's see. Presley, what do you have to share with us? Okay, so Presley is saying that it's kind of centered around that. I believe we're having our Scorpio full moon, and I think everybody's already feeling those Scorpio vibes. I mean, I am, but I'm also a Scorpio rising, so it's in my chart. It's in my chart in a couple of places. Also, I think it's in my Pluto as well, like double whammy. But that's all about, clearing away the old, for some brand new, beautiful things. And sometimes when things are getting cleared away, it can be rather difficult for us because we've grown accustomed to those things. So it would be akin to, I'm just going to share a quick story. Again, this was some years back in this house, actually. There was a robbery, and it happened while my ex and I were away at work. And when I came home from school, because I was teaching at the local high school, the robber must have heard me open the garage door, because they quickly ran off with whatever they could carry. But you can clearly see they were like starting to pile up things that they wanted to steal. But they stole basically all of my jewelry and like a pair of shoes from my ex and his razor, and just it was a bunch of odd things. And at first it was like, oh my gosh, devastating. It's like somebody was in my house and somebody took my things. And we place a lot of attachment sometimes to our things, especially if they have sentimental value. And a lot of those things that were in the jewelry did have sentimental value. They belonged to both of my grandmothers. They belonged to my ex's mother, who had passed away a couple of years prior. And so there was all this like, oh no, tower moment, and it was all taken away. But then it was about a day later, there was this sense of calm and just like, I could finally just breathe easy. And you might be wondering, like, how could that be if somebody just like literally came into your house and stole your things? But the thing was that I had been holding on to so much heavy energy from those things, so much sadness surrounding the death of my nana and my grandmother and my ex's mother, and all of these things. And it was kind of surrounding their items. And once those items were gone, I didn't I had changed my perspective on stuff. Before I would like hold on to stuff, and it was so hard for me to get rid of things, because it was like, no, 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 I can't get rid of that sweatshirt because that's the sweatshirt I got from my high school graduation, and I can't, get rid of that because my friend in 6th grade had given that to me. So it's like all these things, and it was like I just couldn't get rid of them. But then I realized that it's the memories that I was afraid of losing. And I could never lose those memories, especially when I go into meditation and we connect to the energy of all, and our memories are our energy, that I didn't feel so attached to things anymore. And sure, still, today I love the things I have, but if I had to let them go, it seems much easier for me now, because I realize that my memories and what I'm really trying to connect to is not in the physical items. It's in basically my memories and what I felt, and I can access that at any time. I don't actually need the tangible item. And so I feel like that's what Presley is coming in to tell us this week, is perhaps there might be some things we've grown so attached to, and we say, I feel like I've lost this person if I lose the item. But that's not true. The people that we meet, the experiences that we have, the memories that we have, they're all in here. They're in our energy, and we can access it any time. But it's only our ego that's like, oh no, but it's the thing. I need the thing. And I would be devastated if I didn't have the thing anymore. And that's not to say we wouldn't be sad about it, but then we realize that, hey, just because the thing is gone doesn't mean I lost that experience. It doesn't mean I lost that person that lives in my heart. It doesn't mean that I've lost those memories. Those memories are always with me. And even if I can't remember them off the top of my head, I know that somewhere inside of me I can access them. And so perhaps it's things that are being taken away, from us, or that we give away from, this week. Maybe it's a person that goes away, or maybe it's a situation, or maybe it's a belief. But it's something that, we're holding on to rather strongly. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but the message is to allow things to be taken when it's appropriate, when it's time for us to be open to new experiences, new things, new people, new situations. And that can happen when we're in a different frequency, a different energy. And the only way to get into a different energy is to do things a little bit differently, to release some old things so we can make room for the new things, which is a wonderful thing. And that might be, a rather scary thing thinking about it, but think of all the things that we have let go of, our beliefs, people, situations, things like that in the past, to create the beautiful life that you guys have now. So let's embrace that Scorpio full moon. Let's embrace all that is occurring that we are in alignment with, because it wouldn't be occurring if we weren't in alignment with it. We wouldn't have, we've called it in some way, shape, or form, whether or not, our ego is I would say understanding of that. But know that whatever is happening, whatever is being taken, is for a reason. It's because there's something even better, even more in alignment with us, even more there to help us to achieve our dreams and our goals and the things that we want to have and do and be, and all of that, the ways in which we want to grow and our soul wants to grow. All of that is waiting for us. We just got to clear out some of the clutter just a little bit. So, all right. Thank you, Wally and Presley, for helping us with that message. Now I want to use these two decks, the Retiki Natabi and the Divine Doors. And I said that I wanted to show you guys this new deck that came all the way from Japan. It has a beautiful backings here. But check out the freaking art in this deck. So magical, so beautiful. Yay! Okay, so let me put that right there. And let's pull a few cards for this week. It could be going off of what Presley was talking about. It could be something else that we need to keep in mind. I don't know. Let's see. John said, connected to, Peter's site. Oh, dude, that stone I haven't worked with that stone in a while. That is a fabulous stone. Peter's site this week. This is basically what came through for me. Smooth seas never made a good sailor. The wings of change are often in your favor. Very awesome. I love that. I love that. Okay. That is very true. Smooth seas never did make a good sailor. Okay. And John said it's sometimes disguised as tragedy. It is. There's always the shock of, things at first when things change, people change, a situation change, our routine changes, and we're like, oh, what do I do? Something's different. Oh, I'm out of my comfort zone. Like, I was used to having that thing in my life, or that person in my life, or that situation. But then we realize, oh, wait, now that I'm in this new space, now I have my eyes open to things that I couldn't see before because I was in this, this old space. So it's definitely an eye opener, a perspective change. I love all of that. That's awesome. Ooh, Justice card came out, which is interesting because what card did I pull yesterday? I pulled Mott. I have a Dark Goddesses deck that I keep by my bedside. And I had pulled Mott, and kind of throughout the whole day yesterday, it was all kinds of like balance and justice, and it was interesting. So we'll dive into that and see what that means. Okay, we'll pull one more card. Okay, we'll put that right there. Okay, so this is that justice card that flew out that I speak of. The justice that I speak of. Okay, and then we have the Eight of Pentacles. Just something about this art, man. I love it so much. Oh, hey, the Sun card. Got a beautiful Sun card there. Is that the sun rising over Mount Fuji? Okay. So let's go ahead and, oops. Okay. Oh, John was saying it was the winds of change, but I kind of like the wings of change. Like, okay. So let's put all of these together. And by the way, the reason I like to show all the cards, not just because I like to show off all the pretty art, but because I know that you guys like to tap into the cards as well that you see, as well as the cards that you guys pull for your shelves and everything. So definitely, yes, share your messages. John, you had some great messages. But also, if you guys get anything from the cards, do share, do share. John said, that's so pretty. This deck you posted on Insta earlier last week, I assume. Yes, 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 it is. I was like, swoon. Okay, so let me dive into this one. So Eight of Pentacles, Justice, and the Sun card, which means it's two major arcanas, and then our pentacles. Okay, so let's dive in. Okay, so this is actually offering, I guess, kind of an aid to what Presley said in his card. Oh, hey, Laura says, morning, guys. Hey, good morning. But what Wally was talking about, that there's it's like the Scorpio stuff, things moving and a shaking and a grooving, and our comfortability getting shook up, and that could be kind of painful, but at the same time, things are opening up for us. But what the Justice card is trying to show us is, yes, it's going to be some work, as we work through getting into a new routine, new comfortability, new surroundings, new people in our lives, new ways of doing things. But we can look at it this way. When something big like that shifts in our lives, whether hopefully it's not like what I experienced, your house gets robbed. But, like let's say a person leaves our life, or there's a breakup that occurs, or I don't know, something happens kind of in a bigger type way, not like just I just lost my keys, but something a little bit bigger happens in our lives, even though that may not be what we want in that immediate moment. We'd rather not have that happen like right then. It always seems that it's inopportune, not at the right time. But everything technically in the greater scheme of things is in right timing. Even though we'd rather not have that happen, we can take comfort in the knowledge that if something big like that is happening, that means there's some big changes happening in my life, and there's something really good just on the other side. And even if that's in the back of your brain somewhere, that's what the message coming through is just hopefully to implant that in your subconscious, put it back there somewhere, so that whatever happens with you guys this week, whatever it is that you're going through, whatever it is that you have been going through or will go through, that it's back there in my brain, that if, oh wow, man, there's this thing that happened, oh my gosh, it feels like almost like the end of the world, it feels like it's totally changed everything. But I know that if something big like that is happening in some way, shape, or form, I must have called that in because I wanted to create something even better for myself. So it might be a period of frustration, maybe even a period of sadness. And hey, however you need to release, cry, scream into a pillow, take it out on the punching bag. I don't know. But work through it however you need to work through it, meditate, do shadow work, I don't know, work through it, but also somewhere in the back of the brain, knowing that there's something even better waiting for me. And I just have to work through this period. I have to try to understand what the lesson is, and look at it more, instead of something just happened to me, it happened for me. And if it's happening for me, then what am I meant to learn? What am I meant to understand? That kind of gets us out of our head space and more into our heart space, because now we're trying to look at it from a different point of view, instead of like, I've been attacked. It's like, okay, this isn't pleasant, but if I brought this in, why would I do this for myself? What am I trying to do? What am I trying to clear away? What is it I'm trying to learn? And while we're doing that, then that other stuff starts coming in, all that newness, all that goodness, all that stuff that we've always been trying to find, we've been searching for, of like, man, I wish this would come into my life. I wish that, I could be more in alignment with better partners in my life, or, I would like to be in a more abundant mindset, or have that flow of abundance, whatever it may be. But if that's going to happen, we got to clear out some old gunk. And so know that all that stuff is waiting for you guys. So, all right. Hey, I'm excited. I'm a little nervous because I'm like, what is it that Scorpio thing is like bringing up? Because it could just be shadows that are coming up to be cleared away. But at the same time, I'm like, ooh, that means there's some really good stuff coming for us. Hey, it's one of our other mighty, mighty moderators. Kayla is here. Hey, Kayla. And by the way, you guys know her because she's got the wrench of destiny next to her. Okay, so hey, I can dig those messages. It seems like a kind of a big message, but you know, I mean, with Scorpio, Scorpio likes to come in hot with that stuff. Yay, everybody was wishing Laura a hello and Kayla a hello. Alrighty. I said that I wanted to pull from this deck, the Divine Doors. I just feel like we need a little like cherry on top of the reading before we get into our tongue drum and playing music for the forest. Calling in the Fae, which I've been feeling like Fae vibes like so much lately. Okay, so what's nice about these little cards is they, by the way, they are quite little, quite literally little, like tarjetas. I was like, wow, that's kind of hard to say. I never really said little cards before. Anyway, they all have different like door pictures on them, and then there's a really cool affirmation on the back. And I've had these for, I don't know, well over 10 years. I really love this deck. Okay, so let's pull a Divine Doors card. And the reason I wanted to do that is because I feel that when we play music and bring the Fae, it's like opening up a portal. I feel music just opens up a portal anyway. You know, that throat chakra opening up portals, the musical chakras of the earth opening up portals. Ooh, what a beautiful door. It says, intuition has wandered and led you astray. The timing's not yours, but the universe at play. Have faith and breathe. And what I'm getting with this, because it does say trust the universe, that sometimes when big things happen and we're like, ah, or maybe Home Alone more like, oh, anyway, that our logic mind immediately takes over. It might be harder for us to access our intuition because we are just reeling over what the situation is. It's like, you know, trying to logically figure out, what do I do next? What do I do next? What do I do next? And sometimes it's really hard, especially if we become ungrounded in that way, where it feels like the rug has literally been, quite literally been pulled out from underneath us, that it could be hard to be in our heart space. So this is just a nice, gentle reminder to have faith, just kind of going off of what those other cards said, that, hey, there is something even better that we haven't even fathomed yet. Nothing that we could ever even imagine, because it's coming from our soul, is just on the other side. But we have to clear out this thing that, yes, I understand it may not be pretty, it may not be comfortable, you're probably going to shed some tears, or, you know, whatever comes through, but it is for our benefit. And so all we have to do, you know, our only really job is to kind of figure out why it's occurring. You know, if I brought this in, why would I bring this in so that I could release it? What am I meant to learn? And somewhere deep inside, I know that, hey, there's something like really cool is about to happen. But I just have to work on this situation first. So that's that trust. And, you know, even if our intuition isn't so good in that moment, at least that thing has been implanted in your subconscious of like, it's going to be okay. It really will be. You know, you've traversed some, I don't know, some dangerous seas before, some high waves and choppy seas. And you guys have always weathered it. You guys have always come out on top. So it'll be just like that this time. And Kayla says, I can't stay, but I wanted to say hello. Well, hello, Kayla. And I know there are a lot of people who, probably wouldn't be in our chat today because, everybody's off doing kind of like Mother's Day stuff and celebrations. And, it is so nice outside. I don't blame you guys for going out wanting to be in the sunshine and like go frolicking. So totally understand. All right. So on that note, let's open up some beautiful fairy portals. Maybe the Fae can help us out with whatever it is that we'll be going through this week or next week or what we've already been going through. And I know that, sometimes when people say the Fae or the fairies, they always think of like little Tinkerbells and they're all sweet. They're just like human beings, with a gamut of emotions. So, sometimes they could be in kind of a funk. Sometimes, they can be quite joyful, but it's all about just connecting to those energies and stating your intention and how you want to work together instead of just like, hey, you fairy, you're going to work for me now. It's like, hey, I want to help you out, forest creature, and maybe you can help me out, little elemental spirit. So let's open up the portal. Let's see if we can have a working relationship with the Fae, and maybe they can help us out with whatever it is that we're going through this week. John says, if things aren't okay, the adventure isn't over. Exactly. I love that. And I think that is a wonderful thing to keep in mind, that when things are like that, it just means that this is, if this were a story, which I do feel like our lives are stories, our heroes' journeys. Every story has conflict resolution. And what happens by the end of the story, the character is changed in ways they couldn't even imagined from the day they were born, that they go through all these trials and tribulations because the character needs to grow. And we are those characters. And the way we grow is sometimes with other characters, sometimes with nature, sometimes, it's internally. Those of you that are my English nerds out there, it was like, it was all the different types of conflict: person versus person, person versus nature, person versus self. There's all of that, but we go through all of that so that we can grow, and it's just another part of the story. And I don't think we've ever really reached the climax of our story quite yet. We're still making our way up there, but it's a beautiful journey, even with all the hiccups along the way. So, okay, let's go ahead and take that drum. And I actually wanted to go out underneath this tree over here. So let's go for a little walkie, shall we? A walking we will go. A walking we will go. Hi ho the Dario. A walking we will go. Oh, hello, a little tarantula hole. Okay. Do 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 do. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, I thought this would be really cool. How about this, you guys? Let's go under this tree. Maybe I could put this down further so you guys can get down here with me. So my apologies for the sound of the tripod legs, but I want you guys to get low, low, low. Get low with me. There we go. See, we're underneath this nice pine and juniper, just hanging out with us. Okay, so let's put you guys here. I'm just going to stabilize the tripod real quick. There we go. Okay, guys. All righty. So I have my handy dandy tongue drum. Looks just like this. It's got little pieces of painter's tape on here, just so that back when I was like practicing with it, I just wanted to remember all the chords or notes, the notes that are on the tongue drum. But anyway, let's go ahead and play a little something for our fairy friends. So maybe I can turn it this way and bring you guys down here. Okay. Here we go. I almost did somebody's doorbell ring. Doo, 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 doo. You guys remember that? Okay. Okay. I kind of feel I do feel the elementals around right now. They come around, I was feeling more with the higher notes, the yeah. I feel them coming around with the higher notes. Hello, little ones, my elemental friends. There's a little bee that just landed on the camera. That is so cute. John said some very imposing elementals with beautiful energy. Some of my favorite elementals um, um have made me take a step back. Definitely, definitely. Oh my goodness. Well, I really feel like they're, surrounding us. And so might as well state our intention. How would you like to work with the elementals this week? How would you like to work with the Fae? Maybe helping us to not be in a fear energy. Maybe some of us are like, oh my gosh, things are going to be cleared away. My routine's going to get shook up. Like, I'm a little bit nervous about that. But maybe just to help us to stay grounded and present, so we're not worried about what could happen. Maybe have the elementals help us with that. Help us to ground to Mama Gaia, ground back into the earth, which we all also are. So that we can just focus on what it is that we're doing this week, and then whatever happens, happens. But we do have that, little message in the back of our head, just reminding us that if something big like this is happening, whatever it is, it's because there's something even greater on the opposite end of the spectrum in a beautiful way. Something else that is more in alignment with us is waiting for us just above, or above, below, in and out on the other side, waiting for us. But yeah, we'll just work on staying present and grounded. We'll keep doing what we do. You do you, boo, this week. And yeah, okay, well, I think that this is a beautiful time to get ready to do our super chats and super stickers. So I'm going to go head back over to my rock. All righty. Let's go to the rock and go rock out. Maybe. What a lovely tree. I like hanging out over by these rocks and by this tree. I don't know. I really like this tree. Well, I really like that big old ponderosa that's over there too, that we talked to last week. But I like this one too. Just something about it. Maybe the Fae are off doing their dances, having their parties in the morning time before the humans and the animals are awake. Okay. Let me put my drum down. Do. And excuse me while I move these tripod legs once again. Yay, we're back. All right. So John did a super sticker. Hey! So let me know what question you have. Maybe it's a question for the Fae. Maybe you guys want me to pull you a little affirmation card. Maybe you have a particular message or question in mind. Definitely let me know. Okay, let's see. Let's go back here. Oh. Okay, my chat is doing something interesting. Okay, but we have our buddy John. So do let me know. Maybe I'll use, you know what? The messages from the spirits of nature. Maybe I'll bust this out because Fae vibes, Okay. And Lily is here. Hello. She says, hola, hola, peeps. Hope all is well. Happy Mother's Day. If you're into that, I think everyone should be Mother's Day to humans, to our beautiful animals. Yes. Like I said at the very beginning, we were all mothers in one way or another. Whether it was with human babies, fur babies, maybe we were surrogates, maybe we were stepmoms, maybe we have given life in a different way, a given of our heart or our kidney. There are people who are moms to animals, to the forest. There are people who are just like the really awesome next door neighbor who's like a mom to, all the children. Okay. Oh, wow. Got a little tarantula hawk running around, probably looking for those tarantula holes. You be nice to the tarantulas. You hear? Oh, hey, Rex is here. There he is. Rex, you're on the interwebs. So yes, John, just let me know what your question is. And for everybody else, I am doing the super chats and super stickers at the moment. Hey, dude. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. How are you? Okay, he's off adventuring. Oh, Behind the Veil Oracle says hello, 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 hello. Oh, new. Well, welcome, welcome. We just had fun bringing in the Fae with our tongue drum. Now we're just doing super chats and super stickers. John says the spirit of wolf and wild bear have been coming in. Hold up one second, please. Okay. Seen them both separate and also as a faced mask. Oh, a two-faced mask. Is this enough to work with? Yes, yes, okay. So wolf and wild bear coming in as a two-faced mask. All right, so I'll tap into their energy right now and kind of see what's coming through. Okay. Okay, well, first, there is a song that's coming through. It's Sail by AWOL Nation. So I don't know if you want to play that and maybe figure out, maybe just, it could be something that's in the title, it could be something that's in the lyrics that's a message for you. But let's see what else I get. That was just like the first song that came through. Okay, so I'm seeing this like, I don't know, like a mask and a mask. I guess, yeah, like the two-faced mask, but like it's like a bear on one side and then it's like the wolf on the other side. But it's like the mask is like back to back. So it's like wolf facing this way and like bear facing this way. And it says the mother and the father. So it's showing like mother is the bear and father is the wolf, as like masculine energy and feminine energy. And it's showing that although they seem to be two opposing energies, those energies actually do have a lot of similarity, meaning they balance each other out, they work together. The wolf energy, sometimes, you know, we often think of like working alone, like sometimes there could be a lone wolf, but they also have their packs that they stay in. And then there are bears. Sometimes bears could be alone, but sometimes there are groups that they are in, or it could just be, you know, a mother and its cubs. But there's this sense of being together but then alone, together and alone, masculine and feminine, but both very protective energies. And it seems like what they're talking about with you right now, that that's that duality that you're in. I feel like I am surrounded by people who love me, and by energies, you know, that are working with me, not just like physical human beings, but like spirit and the spirits of animals and, you know, ETs and all of these energies, where I feel surrounded, but at the same time so alone. Like I feel like I'm on this journey alone, and what I'm going through is alone. But that's the duality of being human, you know. And well, a lot of us, you know, we are surrounded, we're working together, yet it's also a very personal journey. And they're letting you know that you're very protected, you know, with those two very almost opposite energies, you know, the wolf and the bear. That they're highly protective. You know, a wolf is highly protective of its pack. It's highly protective of its family. The bear, highly, highly protective of her cubs, and also of her territory. So these two energies surrounding you, both masculine and feminine, are protecting you on this journey of what seems to be polar opposites. Of I'm alone, yet I am surrounded. And it seems like that is a part of your journey right now, in trying to understand that sometimes when we are feeling surrounded by a lot, we could also be feeling quite alone. And when we're feeling quite alone, we are sometimes surrounded by a lot. But let's get some clarification on that. So let's pull a card. I'm also getting when to hibernate and when to take action. I'm also seeing that duality between those two animals as well. The bear knowing when it's time to rest, and the wolf knowing when it's time to hunt. Okay, so the card that I pulled was Moss, adaptability. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so for the things that you probably have already been working through and that you will continue to work through, you know, as the intensity of people's, not everyone, but certain people's journeys are increasing. It feels like that it's, you know, happening that way for you, where the journey feels like it's getting a lot more intense. Like the synchronicity is just so much more. What's coming up for me so much more. I feel so much more. But understanding when it's just being present and observant of when the universe is telling you to slow down. Sometimes there are things that are going to take a lot longer to integrate. So kind of like that bear energy, it's okay to be slow right now. It's okay to be, you know, nurturing and mothering to oneself. And then there are other times where it feels like, you know, the wind is at your back and it's just like pushing you. And that's that wolf energy of like, okay, now it's time to go seek out some more knowledge. It's time to go hunting. It's time to go out and go take action. And sometimes, you know, we will feel like we're absolutely alone on that journey. And sometimes we feel like, oh, everybody's going through this right now. But that's part of your mission here is to understand that balance in life. And that's not everybody's mission. It would seem like that's something that we would all be learning. But, you know, as you learn it, of course, it goes into the collective consciousness. So technically, we are all learning it because of you. But learning to walk that line of like integration, action, integration. I'm a lone wolf. Now I'm part of the pack. You know, I'm being absolutely like super protective, and then I can chill out. And, you know, and it doesn't have to be one way or the other all the time. Like sometimes we feel like I need to always be in protective mode, but we don't always have to be that. This is you learning to walk the balance, which actually is just like that justice card that we pulled earlier, of how to walk that line, you know, in between. It's okay to be alone now. It's okay to be quite surrounded by a lot of things and work with, you know, a lot of energies. It's okay to take action now. It's okay to rest now. It's, but in all of that, bear and wolf are a part of you, and they're with you on that journey. And that's why that two-faced mask is there, is because sometimes you're the wolf and sometimes you're the bear. And it's okay to be both. Sometimes it's cool to be one or the other, and sometimes it's okay to be neither, is what they're saying. And it says that they're saying that sometimes you overanalyze and you figure, oh, I should be doing this right now, or I should be doing this, or I should be taking action now, or I should be resting now. And they say really what you should be doing is just listening to your body, listening to your energy, being observant with the external world and the internal world. And if the external world is forcing you to slow down, then you know you need to slow down. The external world is pushing you to go faster, and then maybe it's time to go a little bit faster. But this should help take away a lot of the pressure that you place on yourself. I just keep seeing a lot of pressure. So hopefully that makes sense. Thank you so much. All righty. So thank you, John. If there's anybody else that would like to do super chats and super stickers, definitely let me know. And then afterwards, we'll do our channeled guided meditation. Yay! Rex is over there probably meditating under a tree. I don't know if you guys can see. Hold on. I'm going to turn the camera. He's way out there. But I think he's just meditating under a tree. Anyway, John says, yeah, the moss also came through this week. Lichen too. Reliance and alchemy are what come to mind with this duo. Definitely. And I love lichen, by the way. I love seeing that like symbiotic relationship where it would appear that, you know, one is destroying the other when really they need each other. John said, thank you. You are very, very welcome. And on that note, have a little bit of wawa. Yem says, hello, can I ask? Sure, we are doing super chats and super stickers. So all you have to do is do a super chat, super sticker. And then we will pull you a card. But of course, if you wanted like a way more personal reading, you didn't want the whole interwebs to hear, you can head over to the website too, kittensweightsandtarot.com. I have like bigger readings and stuff over there. Although I also have one cards. So if you are interested. And sometimes people just go to my website and they get one card readings because they, you know, want a quick question just for that day. Okay. Hey, Silver Star Priestess is here. Hey, this is Happy Mother's Day, Earth Keepers, a fuzzy family mamas to all the mommies. Happy Mother's Day. Johnson, that was a big reading. It felt big, but I feel like you're going through like a big changeover, and I kind of have been feeling that the past couple of weeks. You know, when I have been reading for you, I feel like you know, and things don't happen maybe as fast as we want them to happen, but it feels like this chapter for you has just been like almost like the roll of a wave, you know, the undertow just it's like rolling, like building momentum as you move into this next chapter. You know, so yeah, I think some big stuff. Lily, hey. So will my daughter pass her state test so she can graduate high school this May 2025? She took it Saturday and wants to take it again this Tuesday just in case. All righty. So Lily, let's go ahead and tap into your daughter's energy and see where she's at with that test for graduating this May, this month. Okay, so the song that popped in was Journey's Don't Stop Believin'. Don't stop believing. Oh, I love that song. I'm glad that song is surrounding your daughter. That's freaking awesome. Okay, so let's pull her a card. Okay, how'd you do on that test, baby? How'd you do on that test? How'd you do on that test? Lily, you're gonna like this card. You almost don't need an intuition for this one. Rainbow, beauty, and then you got Don't Stop Believin' playing in the background by Journey. I would say odds are pretty good that she is going to pass that so that she can graduate this month. And I know, like you said, that she's going to be taking the test again this Tuesday. I think it's the combination of the two, you know, her having already taken it and then her taking again on Tuesday to kind of ensure her success. But no, your daughter has the stuff. She knew those questions inside and out. She was prepared. The only thing was that she may have second guessed herself on a lot of them just because she's nervous. You know, she really wants this. So the nerves were there, but she knew the material. She really did. Your daughter's one smart cookie, I will say. um, so Lily's like, yes, yay. Yeah, but yeah, I feel like it's going to be fine. She was well prepared. She knew the answers on that test. Like I said, like of the answers she did miss, it wasn't because she didn't know the answer. It's because she second guessed herself because her nerves kind of got the best of her in certain parts during the test where it was like, right away, it was like straight away, I know the answer is like, let's say A. And then it was like, oh, wait, but is it A? Or maybe it could be B. And then, trying to like talk herself out of it, like maybe it could be C, maybe it could be D. So she did that a few times, but, I mean, sometimes we get nervous in tests. Oh, Behind the Veil said, I love that song too. Dude, that is such a rad song. Oh, hey. And then the Rose card flew out, and Rose flew out for me this morning too. So I'm getting lots of good vibes with that, a lot of good stuff with your daughter's test. So I think for the both of you, just kind of working on keeping grounded. I know she's going to take the test again on Tuesday. So maybe just wanting to not share the information that like, oh, like in a reading, I got this, but more like, okay, when you get really nervous during certain parts of the test, just remember to ground, to breathe. Always go with your first gut instinct because that's what's helping her ace the test is her first inclination of like, it's B, it's A. And that's, and it's because she knows the answers. She knows her stuff. And it's only when, she pops in and is like, or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's this, maybe it's that. It's just the second guessing, but for the most part, she's done really well on that test. Silver Star says she's got this. She totally does. So I wish her well again as she takes the test again on Tuesday. But I feel like it's going to be a really good outcome. And maybe what you could just help her with is nerves, and second guessing, which is just, when she gets ungrounded, but you know how to do that. You know how to help her out with that. So that it will help her even more when she takes her test on Tuesday. Silver Star said, woo woo, yes, yes. Lily says, oh yeah, she's very smart. She had a rough year, but I got her back on track. Teenagers are scary and amazing. Yes, that is something I learned with all those years teaching teenagers from middle school to all the way up to 12th grade, is that they are amazing human beings. They taught me so many things. And at the same time, it's like, whoa, okay, kid, settle down now. But yeah, I mean, as much as I like, little kids too, I love teenagers. That's like my favorite age to like just communicate with and, help. Lily says, I gave her a selenite stick, and she almost cheated because her friend cheated, but for her friend got caught. I told her the crystal, which I call stick, the selenite stick, protected her from doing it. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, selenite is so clearing. It can be super high vibe, but also really grounding at the same time. I feel like it's also got that duality we were talking about with John. And selenite, I feel like, especially with the just the way it goes into formation with, it being just straight and narrow, just like it keeps us on the right path. As long as we tap into its energy and listen to its message, it can definitely keep us from doing things that may not be in alignment with us. And really just the whole, cheating thing, it just comes from a lack of confidence, in herself. But she's like you said, she is really smart. She does have this, and she doesn't need to cheat at all. So yeah, she's fine. Silver Star says, I pulled the magician for the question. Hey, resources. She's got this. See, you got our friends backing her up on this. So she's going to do okay. She will do okay. I mean, you're her mama. You've helped her out quite a bit. And and you get to see that in her. So that's awesome. Okay, well, let me know if anybody else would like to do super chat, super sticker, and then we get into our meditation. Man, it's a nice day. I'm so digging it. I love to wear my shorts again. I love wearing my dresses again and my skirts. And I don't know about you, but like my legs just don't like long pants. It's like I get like bumpies on my legs because they're like, ew, we must feel the sun on our skin. My melanin needs to soak it up. Could be leftovers from when I was a little kid, and my mom says I was like naked baby. I refused to wear clothes. Whatever. Not much has changed. John says it's difficult for us in the modern age because we're taught to be a thinking mind and not in the knowing mind. It is a sign of intelligence to second guess, but there are different kinds of it. Yes, definitely. I mean, speaking of myself, I always said that I wasn't a good tester. Like I never tested well. And that's just because I second guessed myself all the time. Like straight away, I would know that like A was the answer. And then I would try to tell myself, well, like, could B be the answer? How could B be the answer? But maybe C could also be the answer. And it was like I overthought so much that I just like ended up putting all the wrong answers because because it was like, and then when we would go over the test and the teacher would be like, and this is why the answer is A, and I'm like, well, I knew that, but then I like talked myself out of it, and I tried to like think in all the ways that the other answers could be right too. But so knowing that, that is what I tried to help my high school students with. I tried to like think of like all the things that I struggled with as a teenager, and then I was like, okay, if anybody struggles with this, I understand. Here's what helped me, you know. Lily says, awesome. Thank you, peeps. You are very welcome. Okay. Oh, hey, John did another super sticker. All righty. So what question you got? I'd like a message for the group from the elementals you tapped into earlier. Okay, sure. Actually, you know what? I feel like I want to pull the divine doors for that one if we're going to tap into the elementals again. So here we go. Group message. Gather around. And thank you, John. So generous, helping everybody out. Let's see if the elements. Ooh, elementals coming in with the wind. Okay. This sounds interesting. I will pull a card. Actually, I'll do that first. But you know what they were asking for? You know that song from the Disney movie Pocahontas, "Colors of the Wind"? They actually wanted me to sing that song. So okay. So I'll sing that song, but I'll pull a card too. Like they want to keep hearing music. So I'm like, okay. And they're like, well, if you're not going to play your tongue drum, then you might as well use your voice. So like, we want to keep hearing music. And I'm like, okay. Um, so like I said, I'll sing that song, but let's pull a divine door. What message they have for all of us. Ooh, and what a door it is. Let me just put these back in the little box. So they don't blow away. Okay. But this is the door here. Oh, don't you just love that? Overgrown with roots and vines and freaking, I would love to live in there. I want to be in a treehouse. It says hummingbird song, right? Nectar of sweetness, in joy it brings, the hummingbird's healing as medicine it sings. Okay, so let's tap in. And I hear all the little birdies in the background. Oh, Actually, okay, so yes, they still do. They're like, no, you're not getting out of singing, sister. You're still singing for us. And I'm like, okay. um, but what they're saying for everybody is that whatever we're going through, they want you guys to find music that really fits how you're feeling and to sing it to the top of your lungs. And many of you already know this, that when you sing music, it's like something your physiology almost like changes, your mood changes, your thought processes change, because you're attuning to the frequency of the song. You're literally shifting the energy that you are in that moment. So even if you are listening to, let's say you're feeling kind of like I want to freaking listen to some like Marilyn Manson or freaking Drowning Pool, something like that. It doesn't matter. It's a frequency. Get into that frequency, sing it, yell it. Um, and you're going to feel different afterwards. You'll be able to see the situation differently. You might even be in a better mood. You might feel lighter. You might feel like doing something that you didn't feel like doing before. Like you're like, I don't really feel like going for a jog. I'm kind of in a foul mood. But then after singing, it's like, you know what? Maybe I could at least take a walk around the block. So that's kind of like the overall message for us, is that like music really, really is healing. It really does change us and affect us, which is why the elementals want me to sing that song. They're like, we love it. We want to feel our vibration change. So whatever it is that you guys are listening to, whether it's, Nora Jones or Bach, or, listening to like, is it like Tool or, you know, uh, Jessica Simpson. I don't know. I haven't even heard Jessica Simpson in a while, but it doesn't matter. Sing it out, belt it out. Doesn't matter what you sound like. It'll help to shift that energy inside of each and every one of us. And that'll be definitely really helpful, especially if we go through some heavy things, let's say this week. Find a song that matches your energy and sing it out, or just song that you want to listen to. Maybe you're feeling down and you just, want to hear some, what's his name? The Hawaiian guy is, I think he just goes by Iz, but he's passed away now, but he had some beautiful, Hawaiian music. Maybe you want to sing that if you're feeling down, but like I said, maybe you want to like get all crazy and just like, you know, sing Disturbed or something like that. But okay, I will sing for the elementals, for the Fae, but I will need a little bit of water. So because my voice is a little this morning. Silver Star says, John, thank you. So sweet of you. Yes, definitely. Thank you so much. And Behind the Veil says, yep. Thank you, John. John, you really are very kind. Thank you. Thank you. Do I even know the words? The elementals are like, you know what? It doesn't even matter if you know all the words to Colors of the Wind. They're like, just sing what you know, sister. Sing what you know. I'm like, okay. John says, we all got a treat. Okay. You think you own whatever land you land on. The earth is just a dead thing you can claim. But I know every rock and tree and creature has a life, has a spirit, has a name. You think you hold on, I'm like, what's the rest of it? Oh, you think the only people who are people are the people who look and think like you. But if you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you'll learn things you never knew, you never knew. Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon? Or ask the grinning bobcat why he grins? Can you sing with all the voices of the mountains? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Come run the hidden pine trails of the forest. Come taste the sun-sweet berries of the earth. Come bask in all the revels all around you, and never once, never wonder what they're worth. The rainstorm and the river are my brothers. The heron and the otter are my friends. And we are all connected to each other in a circle, in a hoop that never ends. How high does the sycamore grow? If you cut it down, you will never know. And you'll never hear the wolf cry to the blue corn moon, or ask the grinning bobcat why he grins. You'll never sing with all the voices of the mountain, never hear the voices of the wind. You can own the earth and still all you'll own is earth until you can paint with all the colors of the wind. Yay! I hope the elementals loved it. I had to insert in words where I didn't know them, but they said just sing it, sister, so I just did. Behind the veil says vibration goes up. Well, I do love that song. Maybe I will listen to it later on my computer, because I haven't sung that song in quite some time, and I do love it. Silver Star says, OMG, my favorite. Yeah, that is my favorite song. That is one of my favorite songs. Lily is here. Hello. She says, I love that song. And she says, hi. Oh my goodness. So, well, I hope the elementals liked it. All righty. Well, on that note, you guys, let's go into a channel guided meditation. But I feel like I should take you guys to a nice tree for us to look at, especially one with the fairies, like that tree. I don't know, just something about it. Lily says, it's funny, yesterday I broke out with a wild call, and from deep within, like an indigenous ancestor would have done, I felt so alive in a big burst of energy. That is amazing. You know, there is something that like when my ancestors, sing like a lot of the ancestral songs, sometimes it's more the vibration than it is actual words and actual song. It's more like just feeling the energy, and there is something about it, like you really do like feel something very visceral. Lily says that song always makes me cry. You know what? It does. I do get that every once in a while when I hear that song and I'm like, oh, you know. Behind the Veil said, nice singing. Well, thank you. Like I said, I had to make up some of the words, but I just went with it like the elemental said to do. All right, you guys, let's set you up with this little fairy tree here. I really do feel like the fae are dancing around this tree. And now Azima says, beautiful singing. Thank you so much. John says, world-class performance. Thank you. You're very welcome. And Silver Star said, beautiful. All right, well, we're here at the Fae tree. I feel like there's a lot of elementals hanging around here. So I'll do the guided meditation here. We can have that as our focus. So I will step off to the side and allow you guys to just kind of focus on that energy. And I'm going to allow the Fae to take over with this. Oh, I see what they're saying. And they're like, for this guided meditation, they want me to go get my tongue drum. So I'll be right back. Give me just a second. It's on my rock. Yeah, but they're like, we're less about the talkie and more about the music. That makes sense. That definitely makes sense. Okay. So I'm going to put my little drum back on the ground and I will play a little song. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go over to this rock. Okay. There we go. Perfect. All right. So while you guys are staring at that tree, go ahead and get yourself into a nice, comfortable space, a place where you will be undisturbed for the next several minutes. You could be lying underneath your favorite tree. You could be laying in your bed, sitting in a chair, even sitting on the floor, on a cushion, in any position that is comfortable for you. And as we feel the wind around us, let us remember the air that we breathe and focus on our breath, that life force energy. And every inhale and exhale is a miracle. Everything being rejuvenated in that one simple act of breathing in and out. And as you breathe in that life-giving energy, allowing it to fill you with light, every cell, every organ, every strand of hair being filled with that light. And with your exhales, just releasing that old stagnant energy, understanding that that is the way of all things, a beautiful cycle of bringing in and release, bringing in the new and release. And get yourself into a nice rhythm with your breath, having your exhales become longer than your inhales. Feeling the jaw muscles begin to relax with every exhale. The shoulders falling away from the ears. Your arms becoming limp at your side. Feeling that relaxation down the spine and the torso. Down into those hips that hold us all day long, allowing them to rest. Feeling it down the legs and the feet. And as you come to this comfortable space and you look into the portal that is between these trees, these junipers and pine tree, and I want you to envision a beautiful portal that you have come across in your imagination. It could be a portal in the forest, in the woods. Perhaps it's amongst the bramble or in a bush. Maybe it's the doorway of an old house. Allow your intuition to guide you. The beautiful doorway that you stand before, the beautiful archway, the portal. And as we come upon this doorway, this portal, the elementals have asked you to state your name. Not the name that you were given here on this earthly plane, but the name that emanates from your heart. Your name has no words, no letters. It is a sound. What is the sound of your name? Perhaps it's the sound of the beginning of a song. Maybe it's a tone. The elementals would love you to come enter their portal, but you must first sing your name. And once you do, once you feel your name being sung from your heart space, the portal becomes open and you are allowed to enter. And it is here that I allow the elementals to take over and to speak to you in their language of music. Go ahead and thank the elementals for allowing you into their home for your visit today. And we go ahead and exit the portal, knowing that we can return at any time as long as we have music in our heart, music in our soul. We express that whenever we can. And as you continue to breathe, go ahead and bring your awareness back into your body, perhaps wiggling your fingers and toes, and having yourself a nice big stretch. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide you in that meditation, although actually it was more like the Fae guiding you guys in that meditation. But thank you for hanging out with me today in the fairy forest. And thank you to everybody who allowed me to do super chats and super stickers to read for them. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for joining me with playing the tongue drum today. I absolutely love playing the tongue drum. I love being guided, especially by the elementals and their beautiful music. So I'm grateful that they were able to kind of come through and play the drum for you guys. Thank you to everybody who voted and helped us out with this tongue drum live chat. Thank you so much. Silver Star says, thank you again, John. Yes, thank you so much for that beautiful message that you brought in for all of us. Thank you. Behind the Veil says, that was very peaceful. Yeah, thank you. And I'm glad it was a beautiful day so that you guys could come out here today and come out and hang out with these magical trees and this magical forest. There's literally a national forest back there. With a wonderful creek and everything. And I wish the internet signal reached that far so that you guys could come to the creek with me because there's frogs in there. I saw a water moccasin. Actually, I had a dream of a bunch of water moccasins last night. That just triggered my dream. But anyway, thank you guys so much. John said thank you. I love you all so much. Yes, we love you too. Thank you. Silver Star says, you too, John. Again, to everybody who's celebrating Mother's Day in whatever shape or form, you have been in a mothering energy to others. We celebrate you. Thank you so much. Duality Tale says, thank you, Tara. Enjoy the rest of your day. You too. I'm going to enjoy this sunshine, play around in the wind, But thank you guys. I will catch you next Sunday. There is a video coming out tomorrow. I've already scheduled it. And that is actually the channeling of that ponderosa pine. I singled it out as a singular channeling, so that's coming out tomorrow. Also, for my patrons and my YouTube members, you had an exclusive channeling that you voted on, and you voted on Stonehenge. So actually, Silver Star Priestess helped me out with that one. She was the guest interviewer, and she asked some amazing questions. So those of you who are on Patreon or my YouTube members, the link for that video is going to come out for you guys tomorrow so that you have that to watch as well. But yeah, thank you all so much. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Have a wonderful Sunday. I will catch you guys later. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out. Bye, guys.